All right, everyone, welcome back to Doc's Delectables. We're going to be making some creme brulee today. So let's just go through a quick ingredient list. Firstly, we need about 3/4 of a cup of sugar, half cup of sugar, excuse me. We need four egg yolks, and we're going to need 3/4 of a cup of heavy cream, which I'm going to add to this pot right here. So that was roughly a third of a cup. So I'll get the rest of the way here in my other container. So essentially what happens when we make creme brulee, we're making a custard that's going to heat up, set up in the oven. So we want our oven preheated to 325, and we make a custard. So I've got this guy. It's on this burner, so I'm going to heat this thing up. With that, I'm just going to add a little vanilla extract. I use the cheap imitation stuff that I buy at the Christmas tree store. You can use real vanilla extract. It's expensive, so I don't. It does taste much better, though. So I just add that in. This just has to come up to a simmer. So let's let this come up to a simmer. I'll give it a little stir. And while we're doing that, to get the vanilla in there, we have to whisk together our eggs and our sugar to a certain state. So what happens here is we add our sugar to our eggs. We want to start whisking. And what the whisking does is it breaks down the yolks. It also incorporates the sugar into the yolks, incorporates air into the whole situation. And it ends up strengthening the structure of the eggs. Because if you think about it, we're going to be adding pretty much boiling liquid to eggs, which pretty easily makes scrambled eggs, which is what we don't want. So this helps strengthen the structure of the eggs to prevent some scrambling. And this is kind of texture we're looking for. People say it would fall in ribbons, which you can't really see due to the angle. But it's just incorporated. It's kind of smooth. It lightened in color. It's more of a pale yellow as compared to the kind of deeper orange it used to be. And now we hang out. So while this is going on, I have a kettle in the background making some hot water and some ramekins in an oven-proof pan. And what we're going to have to do is we're going to put the custard, once we make it in the ramekins, we're going to fill the pan up about halfway with hot water and put it in a 325-degree oven for about 30 to 40 minutes. So we need to hang out a little bit while our custard, while the base to our custard boils. That's the idea of all this. So make sure you got your oven preheated to 325. I'm starting to see some smoke come off the custard, which you might be able to see. I'm starting to see some bubbles. So we're definitely coming up to temperature. Once we start to kind of get to a basic simmer, that's when we're good to go. So this really is a pretty easy recipe. Like we're officially done on the ingredients. But the one thing it requires is patience. So we want to incorporate this hot liquid to the eggs kind of very slowly. So we have, so we don't scramble the eggs. And we also want to make sure that after we cook it, we need to let it sit in the fridge for a couple hours to let it set up. So while that's heating up, I'm going to grab a towel to kind of create a whisking station for us. A whisking station for us. So this is, I'm starting to see some bubbles and some smoke going on here. So we're almost there. And what we're going to do is we're going to make kind of a a ring out of a kitchen towel to help us whisk this all together. So while this finishes up coming to a simmer, we're going to have to kind of move the camera a little bit to show our next station. Oops. It's the high budget here. So what we're going to do is we can use this towel to hold our kind of egg mixture in. And now that this has come up to, we're starting to simmer, we're going to slowly drizzle it in, right? Now there's a couple ways you can do this to get it nice and slow. One is using a ladle, which I believe mine is dirty. Yeah, my ladle's dirty, so we're not going to use a ladle. Oop, we're boiling over here. That's why I have to pay attention and clean up. That's okay though. We'll boil over. But this is definitely up to temperature now, so we can turn that heater off and start to slowly drizzle this in. And we want to go really slow at first to just start to bring the eggs up to temperature. And you got to whisk very quickly. Whisk very quickly. So my little towel ring didn't seem to work. That's okay. We added a little bit. We incorporated. We add a little bit more. We incorporate. Right, and as you go on, you can, once the mixture in the bowl starts to get warmer, you can add more hot liquid at any given time. So I'm going to go a little more now. Do a little more. And we are just about up to temperature. You can stick your finger in here and see this is pretty hot. So I'm comfortable now pouring the rest of that in there. This is our custard. This is our custard. It's I think I avoided any kind of scrambled eggs in there. There always will be a little bit, but there shouldn't be a ton here. And now all I have to do is distribute it into my ramekins, which this bowl's hot, so this will be annoying. We just try to make it even in each ramekin. These are, everything here is oven safe. If you see that you have any kind of curdling going on, any scrambled egg situation setting up, all you have to do is use a strainer to strain out the curdles. So these are pretty much filled to the brim. What I'm going to do is now, from my kettle, I'm going to grab my hot water and fill them up about halfway. See, it's pretty hot. And this goes in the oven at 325. Not quite there, not quite halfway. This goes in the oven at 325 for check after about 30 minutes. Probably takes 30 to 40 minutes. And I'll see you back when they come out of the oven. Okay, welcome back. Time to get our custards out of the oven. And we'll see here, I actually let them go a little too long. This kind of browning on the top isn't perfect, but you should see this is going to be hot. So you see there's a little jiggle in the middle, but it's pretty set up, right? So these got to come out, and these got to sit in the fridge for at least 2 hours. And there's a lot of dairy in there. Dairy tends to pick up a lot of kind of funny flavors, especially when it goes from hot to cold. So what you could do, what you could do is take these out, let them kind of rest for a couple minutes. and then get tin foil on top of them and get them in the fridge. Again, that's for at least 2 hours. They gotta be cold all the way through. So once that's done, we'll see you back here. Now, time to finish off the creme brulee. You could just do this under the broiler. And what you would do is you would add, I don't know, kind of cover the top of this with sugar. I've seen it done with brown sugar. I've seen it done with white sugar. And you could just put this under the broiler and let that get nice and crispy. But if you have a blowtorch, when else do you get to use it? So we lift this, we fire this bad boy up, and we get toasting. And at the beginning, I'm not sure if you can see this, but you start to get some bubbles, and then you get, you'll begin to get some kind of caramelization of the sugar. It'll start to turn kind of a light golden color. So you just keep doing this as your sugar caramelizes. And it turns out these torches are really good at just kind of focusing fire. So this really isn't hot. I mean, the flame itself is hot, but what I'm holding isn't hot. Like, I'm not burning myself. And we're just trying to start to get some caramelized sugar here, which actually isn't just indeed just a caramel. And what we're making on top of this is a hard caramel. And I keep twisting it just to keep having the sugar kind of roll around, not stay in one place, so it can cover up some of the other sugar. And that sugar is like literally molten hot. Right? We're melting sugar. So you don't want to get any of this on you. But as it spins around and goes over the top of other bits of sugar, it will kind of immediately caramelize those bits of sugar as well. So we're getting pretty close to done here. And you might hear Nilla eating the ends of one of my next videos in the background. But yeah, here we go. We're just about done. And that's that. You let that set up for a second. Let me grab a spoon. And before you know it, you have creme brulee. This shell right here is not quite set up yet. So we'll give that a second to set up. I thought it would be. But that is indeed how you make creme brulee. Enjoy.